There it is. There's 2 people there, sitting there AFK.
Welcome to Skeram. As you can see, we're in Ironforge today, and it's not the busiest it's ever been. It may surprise you to know that this footage was actually shot at 5 p.m. on a Friday, so pretty much prime time.
Prime time!
Ironforge is basically deserted, and not only Ironforge, as you can see here.
Oh no.
There's only about 20 level 60s online on the entire server.
Oh my
which
god.
is fairly normal. It's about all you'll see these
How did that
days.
guy get his raid
And
gear?
it's similar for 1 through 59s.
One...
Again, fairly typical. You rarely see...
Wait, that means there's less than 50 people. Period. Like 50, like, if they took everybody in the entire server, maybe you could make one raid. They can't even do AV.
More than a few people in any major city, unless it's sort of our guild's raid night.
Yeah.
In which case you may get a few dozen. That's as busy as it's gonna get. And we'll walk over here into the auction house so you can see that I'm not BSing you. You can tell by the auction house itself that we really don't have many players left. There's, on any given day, at between 400 to 800 auctions usually. Right now there's no purples up for any reason.
There's no perpy boys on the auction house at all. That's actually so sad, man. Like, can you imagine like being on this server? Like, I don't know how Blizzard lets this happen, because they really need to do something and fucking make sure that the servers aren't dead, bro. Like, this is so stupid.
A lot of the bare essentials that you'd be used to purchasing are just
they've got to give people they've got to be like,
is by all accounts in a, let's just say, a unique position.
It's a unique position.
In fact, Skeram is now the most imbalanced server in North America, with a 98% Horde and a 2% Alliance population.
Stalag's getting there too.
Stalag, who used to be ahead of us.
Oh
and with
my
the only
god.
other guild on the server leaving, that number will probably soon reach 1%.
Oh my god.
What was once a full server with queues has turned into
wow.
a shell of what it once was.
Yeah.
Most of you have probably never experienced what it's like to plan a server in this state, and so I thought I'd share. What I tell you may surprise you, and I'd like to start with the soon-to-be Sole Alliance guild on the server, my guild,
20 members.
Please excuse the name.
Kadwiku
didn't used to be this big. In fact, we were a middling, mediocre guild full of people who just like to world PvP.
But now you're the only guild on the server.
What we are now, which is the largest, the last, and I guess by process of elimination, the best Alliance guild left on Skeram. We're all the
simultaneously the best and the worst guild on the server. That's one of the best things about it, man. That's amazing.
Weirdos, spurgs, loners, gold farmers, Russian power levelers, bots who auto-accept invites, Venezuelans who couldn't afford to transfer, plain stubborn idiots, and post-apocalyptic role players who had a sheer stupidity have remained on this godforsaken server through thick and thin. Mostly thin. As the server's Alliance population have fled, we've made a concerted effort to hoover up the remains, and in the last 2 weeks alone, we've gained over 100 new members. And I expect with the only other guild leaving soon, we'll gain even more.
That's
I've
insane.
been surprised and saddened by how many people I've seen in this recruiting drive who didn't even know that joining a guild was an option. Because all they played on is Skeram, so I'll whisper them, and I'll have been the first person to
how do I join a guild?
Classic WoW experience.
How can I be part of a guild?
A lot of them are new players, or those with poor English skills.
Wait, there's other people in the game? Like, imagine, like, this dude. There are people that log on, it's their first time ever playing Classic. And they probably get to, like, level, like, 13 before they see, like, wait, how's there another... Wait, is this, like, a quest giver? And they find out it's another player. It's so weird.
Normal situation, and who think it's completely normal to have no social interaction while playing.
Yeah, of course.
So our hope is to provide a home for these people, and really just a group to play with for everyone who wants to stay here on Skeram, because we aren't leaving.
You're not leaving.
You know, in fact, considering the circumstances, we're thriving. You know, we clear Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, and we do 2 Onyxias
No
every
world
week.
buffs.
You know, we run pre-mades, we do dungeons.
No world buffs.
Pretty much all levels, and we have world PvP groups. We have almost every recipe and enchant you could think to need. Not everyone, but almost every.
But think about it, I'm like 90% sure they wiped on Vale, because you look at 8 minutes left on his Mongoose. That means that he probably went all the way through Suppression Room, killed Broodlord, did the first trash packs, and now they're doing Fire Mod. They fucking wiped on Vale. Like, we wipe on Vale too, so it's okay.
And we have 2 legendaries. Actually 3 now.
So this shit-ass guild on a dead server has more legendaries than my guild. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Like, Blizzard, if I don't get a Thunder Fury today, I'm gonna be pissed.
Now that I think about it, because Parsifal just got his. In other words, we're a fairly typical
How nice for him.
functioning guild.
How nice for him.
Playing on a server like Skeram makes you appreciate having such a guild all the more, and it makes your connection with that guild even stronger. Most of us really still wouldn't be here if we didn't like the community we played with so much.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the main thing that we have to offer to anyone else. You know, we take everyone, every class, every spec, every level, every type of player, literally.
Yeah,
that you can
I
imagine,
bet.
And we just give them a chance to enjoy the game with others. That's it.
I thought that was Blizzard's job. Blizzard needs to be paying these people, because they're doing what Blizzard is supposed to be doing. This is Blizzard's job, to make sure that players are interacting with each other and, you know, having fun and enjoying their time. And it's just, instead of that, Blizzard's profited off of a situation that's done the exact opposite and left their responsibility in the players' hands. What a cock in the ass.
As we like to say, we weren't your first option or your second option or your third option, but
yeah,
we are your only option. And hey, I may be biased, but I think it's a pretty good one.
Hey.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Black ass robe.
I get that every week. Every fucking week we get that robe. I hate that robe. Yeah, the only option, dude.
Dude, what the fuck?
Netherwind gloves.
Whose raid idea is this?
I'm never.
Yeah, kick that guy out of the guild.
Sorry.
Fucking stab Timo in the leg.
Lucifron is 99.9% horde.
Now, you might ask how we managed to accomplish all this.
Let me see this.
After all, clearly 15-year-old WoW raids are right up there with climbing Mount Everest in terms of difficulty and skill required.
That's what I read.
How do we obtain potions and buffs with no auction house and no population, you wonder?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, it's easy. You farm them yourself, or you rely on your guildmates.
Bro, this reminds me so much of, like, you know those apocalypse movies where there's like people that are roaming around and they come into an encampment, and the encampment is like completely self-subsistence, and they have like little farms inside of the encampment where they're growing flowers and, you know, corn, and then they go outside and maybe they hunt like a deer or something that they can find. It just reminds me so much of a fucking post-apocalyptic community, except for this game isn't supposed to be Fallout, but it's somehow even more apocalyptic than that. This is crazy.
We like to say that Skeram Alliance is a sort of hunter-gatherer society. We live off the land, and that which we can't obtain for ourselves, we barter for with those around us.
Oh my god.
It's the Stone Ages, basically, and we make it work for the most part.
Wow.
The bigger tryhards among us even get all our raid buffs every week, and we really rarely face any issues. In fact, we haven't been wiped going into MC or BWL in a while now. This may surprise you, given that Skeram is 98 going on 99%.
Probably going to change after this video, let's be real. I'm actually surprised that, like, there aren't enough Horde that are on this server that have their, that have, like, their goal of just trying to make sure that they get every single last alliance off the server. I was like, that's how it was in Phase 2. I'm surprised it's not happening here.
That Horde, but it's the exact reason why Skeram is actually such an amazing place for a certain type of player. That's why a lot of us love it, and why you may even want to transfer here if you're that type of player.
What the hell?
World PvP. In fact, Skeram is a world PvP paradise. That is, if you're Alliance. There are still thousands of Horde milling about, and you'll find them in every zone, questing, farming, AFKing, or do a lot of AFKing in contested zones.
Wait, so they're actually fighting and holding their own.
I understand, but this isn't Phase 2. They aren't all in 10 to 15 man groups loaded with consumables on Discord looking to find you and kill you. No, far from it. And in fact, a lot of them are unranked.
So there's just 3 of them there sitting there ganking people one at a time.
Killed one. when they see you, they often don't really know what to do and just sort of slowly backpedal away.
That's true. I remember like back on, I was on Kel'Thuzad, like this is what happened with KT too. So like there was a really big horde guild on KT called Intent, and then Intent transferred to Alliance. Like they basically betrayed the horde. And whenever Intent transferred to Alliance, the entire horde just died. Like any time that you saw a horde, you knew that not only were they just fucking, yeah, dude, they fucking straight up just transferred off that bitch and just went Alliance and betrayed their entire faction. And every other guild and every other community on KT Horde just died whenever they left. It was actually really funny. But then what ended up happening is that like you would just never see Horde. You would never see Horde anywhere at any time. It was probably as bad as this server is, except for it was on retail, so it didn't matter quite as much.
Many of them are timid, others oblivious, but
yeah,
very rarely are they aggressive.
They're oblivious.
I really can't
They're like, wait, Alliance?
how cagey and prone to
I read about that in a book
Skeram-US
once.
are. And if you do get attacked, you can be absolutely certain that there's a large group around, because otherwise they'll never engage you.
That's actually very true. I was doing a Legion invasion last night, and I had a guy, and he was like a level 105, and I was 105 or 106, and he starts attacking me, and I think to myself, what the fuck? Why is this guy attacking me? He's only by himself. And so then I start killing him. And because I death grip something else on top of him. I use fucking chill streak. And so it almost kills him on his own. And then his fucking friend comes over. And then they both gangbang me and fucking kill me. And then they're jumping over on my corpse. Like, and you know what these two like little fucking dumbasses were? They were Volpira. The two little dick boys leveling up the Volpira alts that came in there and just butt fucked me while I was sitting there just trying to get my quest done, man. And it was so disgusting. I was so angry, man.
Like a not so friendly warning.
Yeah.
This allows solo or small group PvPers to absolutely wreak havoc on a zone.
Havoc.
You can sit in front of, say, Kargath on any given night.
Rank 9.
5 to 10,000 honor an hour. In fact, a number of us have ranked up fairly high just through World PvP.
Oh, it's a multi-boxer. Of course.
9. And on Tuesdays, you can roam around Searing Gorge, killing literally hundreds of raid buffs.
So, you see what they did there? They sapped the main character, so then the main character can't give commands to the other characters. And that's why the other second person was only able to Arcane Explosion with one of the mages, because the front character is the control character.
Horde. A lot of them don't even group to go raid anymore.
Yeah, they're not even doing anything.
There's so few of us. And if they did,
Jesus,
it was sort of like
dude.
a nature documentary, where there's always a few weak stragglers trailing behind.
Oh my
that
God.
You can bounce on and kill. In short, I can fairly confidently say that there's no other server in North America that can find such a huge passive enemy population with so little competition. And it really is like the American Great Plains before the arrival of the settlers,
So they're the ones killing the buffaloes? These are just buffaloes to them.
On the other hand, Skeram is essentially a PvE server. Most of them are PvEers and like it that way, which is totally fine. I don't begrudge them for that. And I really don't mean to brag about killing them. It isn't impressive, it's just World PvP. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah. But it isn't really the best part about PvPing as Alliance here. What's so amazing, so unique, is the control. What was frustrating about Phase 2 for many people, and I think my earlier videos attested to it, was the lack of control you had as a minority faction. A lot of players felt that they were just there to be killed, and there was nothing they could do about it.
That's pretty much right.
Nowhere was safe, not even Ironforge. But
yeah, not even safe in your capital city.
We're in total control. By that I mean, most Horde will never and can never engage in World PvP at all. They'll go weeks without it unless they encounter one of us roaming around. Mm-hmm. We are the determining factor as to whether they get to participate in this part of the game, especially given their passivity. This allows you to pick and choose your fights, whether you have stealth or you don't. You can create your own terms of engagement, decide who to kill and why. You can make friends, make enemies, and make an impression on the world around you. Every encounter you have is meaningful, not so much just for you, but for the Horde. Because you're the only person they see.
I feel like there's like a weird parallel with like what he's talking about and like just being a hot girl, Because, like, it's like any time that you want, like, you just interact with people and, you know, you hook up with them, it's okay, but you're in complete control of it. I don't know, I guess I'm explaining this wrong, but it's just, like, the first thing that I think of, dude. True? Yeah, alright, at least some of you guys get it.
I have my own rules of who I fight, who I wave at, who I help.
Yeah.
And when you really do encounter a skillful opponent, you can have a fun, fair fight instead of dealing with 10 of them at once. Sometimes the lines can blur and the enemies you've been fighting in front of Kargath for 2 hours suddenly become your friends. And hey,
the fuck?
If the Horde want to try and relive Phase 2 and start running around in groups of 10 to 15 on their mounts searching for us,
yeah,
then we can just leave or AFK. And then no more world PvP for them. Not for a long while. We are it.
So they control the entire situation.
No more honor. No more good times.
Alright, fine, we're gonna leave. We're going home.
Get to play it all. And a number of Horde have begun a rolling alliance to experience this for themselves. And most of the really toxic players have quit or transferred anyways.
This is really funny.
What we're left with isn't a perfect server by any means, but
no, it's not.
It does surprisingly have its benefits, which I wanted to share with you, and most of all, it's home for me and my guild.
Mm-hmm.
It's the place we played on from the first day the game launched.
That's cute.
Where we plan to stay until Blizzard perhaps mercifully puts an end to the bizarre social experiment that is Skeram.
I kind of like that. I think that's really interesting how this happened. And like in general, I think it's probably one of the most interesting things about Classic is the way that the different servers have kind of turned into being different like communities and stuff, and the social what is the word? The emergent social behaviors that come out of it. I think that's what's awesome about it, right? Imagine how important your reputation is on that server. Yeah, dude. Like if you need roll on something that you greeted. Or sorry, you know, you need roll whenever you should have greeted, bro, you're out of a guild. And if you're out of a guild, that means that you're not going to join any other guild on the server because there's only one fucking guild. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. Yeah, that's it. GG. Imagine how fucking insane you'd have to be to ninja loot on that server. It's like nobody would play with you ever. It would be crazy unless you're a horde. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I feel like the whole story is pretty interesting, but it's certainly not where I would want to play, right? I feel like I'm being called upon a crusade and Skeram. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Best guild recruitment out of 2020. I think it actually is.